In the last EngineLabs giveaway video, we ended day 1 of assembling our 632 cubic inch big block Chevy, which we'll be giving away to a lucky viewer, with the bottom half mostly assembled. Now, in day 2 and 3 of the build, we'll wrap up the front drive components and move on to the top end, valve train, induction, and exhaust, and wrap up this engine build here at the PRI show, all with the help of Summit Racing. Alright, so it's time for the balancer,
yes.
ATI Super Damper.
Yep, they're aluminum outer shell with the steel hub, so in that way it's light rotating mass with the strong hub, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so now in my head I would think that naturally aspirated we do the all aluminum one.
You could do all aluminum, but since it's a street motor, might as well have the strength of having the steel hub to keep it, so then that way start and stop and you're on and off. Plus we got the serpentine kit that we'll be showing you really soon from Holly.
Yeah, okay.
Might as well keep the hub strong so it doesn't possibly have any issues down the road.
Gotcha. So we could, but why?
Exactly.
So the next step we're going to be taking is installing the front drive from Holly. It's their mid-mount kit, so it's got the alternator, the power steering, because this is a street engine. Nick is getting everything ready because that's all one unit and it's pretty heavy. So he's going to take it from the bench and just all in one unit with the alternator, and it looks like the water pump and some other stuff, and just all one push onto the front of the engine. So Nick, do you need help or you got this?
I got it.
Okay, I mean, I know you're strong like ox, so.
Ain't that strong, but I'll make it work. And it's got O-rings, which is real nice. So you don't have to run
so there's no gaskets?
So you don't have to try to manipulate those too.
So as you can see here, when I say it's an all-in-one kit, this one unit has the air conditioning compressor, it has the water pump, and it has the alternator attached, and the power steering pump is over on the table. But this being in one unit makes mounting really easy, but it's also very heavy to lift in one. Probably could have done it without the alternator attached, but again, Nick is strong like ox, so. All right, so if there's any doubt this is actually a street engine, we're putting a power steering pump on it. I mean, Nick, how many engines do you use power steering pumps on? I guess with drag and drives, maybe you use them a little bit more, but.
Some of the drag and drive guys have them, but 99% don't.
This is a street engine. All right, guys, we're here at the EngineLabs giveaway at PRI show, but we're with Al Noe of Summit Racing, and Al, I want to say thank you. You've worked with us not just on this. You worked with us on Horsepower Wars and C10 Shootout, the Ellis versus Coyote 3. You've been working with us all year, and I just want to say thank you because you make our automotive dreams happen.
Well, Greg, it's our pleasure to always do this. We're proud to partner with y'all. How do you not love engine builds? I mean, we all love horsepower. We all love big numbers. We all love boost, which you guys love that too.
Yeah.
But we are so happy to be part of it, and especially the Summit team, on behalf of all of them, we love what we do. We know you guys love what you do, and let's keep doing more of it.
Yeah, and one thing that I want the audience to understand, we were talking a little bit off camera, this isn't just that you guys are the sponsor. You guys have saved our butts for real. Like in Horsepower Wars, we were out of bearings. Bearings were gone.
Yeah.
Nobody had them. You had them.
Thank you.
You had them in stock, and you literally saved us. And everybody, thinks, oh yeah, they're just saying that. No, literally, we had such a compressed timeline. You guys say.
So shout out to our supply chain group. Good job, team.
Yeah, obviously this is what you can win. EngineLabsGiveaway.com. You can enter to win, it's free. And this is our latest 1,000 horsepower big block. We're building it here every year. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy anymore? Like, yeah, 1,000 horsepower, pick up the Summit catalog, get all the parts out of it, bolt it together. 1,000 easy, no big deal.
Well, what's even more impressive, this is NA.
Yeah.
1,000 NA.
Yeah.
This is awesome, and we're gonna give this away. That's the cool thing.
That is awesome.
So I get to live my, my fantasy of building all these cool engines, and then somebody else gets to win them for free.
Yeah, we are so happy to be part of it. This is awesome.
You guys are you're instrumental, and you guys, like I said, you help us live our automotive dreams.
Awesome.
So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you all. Great seeing you.
Good to see you. Well, we're going to get back to building the engine. This is the EngineLabs Giveaway presented by Summit Racing. Head to EngineLabsGiveaway.com and get entered. There's multiple ways to get entered, multiple entries, and we're going to keep building. All right, so we're getting through this build and we're coming to the next stage, and there's somebody really important in the booth. We have Bob McDonald from Jessel here, and we're using your aluminum Pro Series shaft rockers. We got them over here. Can you come walk me through them a little bit? I mean, these have always been the holy grail for any of my builds, right?
Yeah.
And luckily our winner is going to get a set. But can you tell me about them?
This is our Pro Aluminum series. It features a 70 series extruded alloy that we finish shop peening. It's a very strong, durable piece. In this application, it's probably going to live forever. It's a one-piece steel stand that we use for the DR17 platform. This particular version, we are using a solid body rocker on the exhaust, which gives a little more durability, a little more longevity. Steel rotted motors, they last forever. So that's the basics behind a heat-treated steel rocker. They can handle all that cylinder pressure that the boost from the turbo, the supercharger is going to put into there when that exhaust valve is trying to open. It's going to give you a more durable. Now what Nick does, because Nick's been doing this a while too, he requested a solid body. So if this were to end up somewhere, someone put a little blower, 8 pounds on it or something, they wanted to go, it has the best aluminum rocker on it they can get for what they're going to do with it.
Gotcha.
So this is versatile.
Well, I'm excited to get these on because, like I said, any of my small blocks, these have been holy grail.
Yeah.
I feel like for a big block, it's probably just more standard, right? It's like it's what you need.
Yep.
So yeah, we're gonna let Nick get back to it, and he's gonna grab these and get them bolted on. So I appreciate you stopping by and explaining this to us, because the more you know, because you can win this. This is somebody watching this. These are your rockers. You don't even know it yet. So head to EngineLabsGiveaway.com, get entered, and you could have these aluminum rockers, for your new big block. So we're about to put the heads on.
Yep.
We're gonna put the heads on.
We got to put the studs in the block, which are from ARP, which is they're good head studs. So, first thing is,
I know that trick.
Middle row of the head studs, unfortunately, was a little short, so we modified them so they could be at the correct height. So we got to add balls.
Well, let's go slow so we can show everybody what you're doing. So we're putting a ball bearing in the blind hole so that the stud bottoms out on the ball bearing, not the bottom of the hole, right? Because it's not long enough.
Yep, correct.
Now, these studs...
What we did with these studs, they normally all had the tips on the end. This one, now they'd be too high, so we cut the tip down, rolled them over, so then that way they're at the correct height.
Okay. So is this a standard big block kit, and the J lines are the hole depths are a little different, or?
Just the heads are so much different with the heads because
it's a head height issue, not
a block issue.
Okay, gotcha.
The depth in the block is about standard industry of 3/4 to 1 inch deep.
Okay.
But then the heads dictate how long the studs are going to be for the thickness of the deck and where they move the holes and everything else. So.
Gotcha. So these heads require something a little bit different, and they're so new, there's not a specific kit.
There's not a specific kit yet, but I'm sure they'll be coming out with one.
Okay.
You always want to add a little bit of oil to the bottom of the thread so that they don't go in dry.
Now, one thing I've noticed with like ARP studs, right? It seems like whether you're just throwing together a 500 horsepower small block or, you know, a 2,000 horsepower big block, they're pretty similar. Like it's like, and it's, they just give you quality, right?
Yes, sir. They got so many different head studs, but then they also got studs like we're using on this one for the belt drive, for the oil pan, valve covers, bolts for the accessory drives. They pretty much got you covered everywhere for whatever you need. And even if they don't have a specific kit, they have bolts listed for length.
Yeah. We've actually had to use them a couple times where you just give them, a thread pitch and a length, and they're like, yep, we got it.
Yep, here you go. And it's on the way to you, so.
Yep. We actually did one time, I basically just gave them a stud with, I need this on this end and this on this end, and within 24 hours it was at my doorstep. Because they went in, they found something they had, and they shipped it out. Alright, so obviously these DR17 heads from Edelbrock, they are pretty new.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them a little bit.
Edelbrock had released them, and then they stopped selling them. They re-released them. They've updated the ports. They've updated the valve angles a little bit. So this is the latest and greatest updated version of the DR17s, which Muesli did the port job on them. Wilson made spacer plates for their manifold, and with the Cometic gaskets on there to go all the way across. But
so now DR17 drag racing 17 degree head. Let's talk a little bit about the valve and chamber arrangement. So how big are the chambers here?
Two 450 titanium valve from Freya, and then it's an Inconel 185 exhaust valve. This is part number you buy straight from Summit to turn around, and you can order them straight from Summit with the part number on them. They still got to go to your engine builder because he's got to do the valve job on them. Still got to do all the rest of the machine work to them with surfacing and all that. But you can order them directly with the port already done.
Yeah, which is nice. I mean, so they've modified the valve angle slightly, correct?
Yeah, over the previous version for more air, and so they flow better and make overall more power.
Which we're going to be putting to the test because it's naturally aspirated. We don't have any boost to hide any sins here.
No.
All right, let's talk about the valve train pre-installed on this. These are comp springs and retainers and everything. Tell me a little bit about them. What kind of rate are we talking about?
They're right about 200 on the seat, around 500 open, because this is a hydraulic roller cam.
Okay.
Installed at 19750 installed height. And so we got those set up, and then get the geometry with the Jessel rock arms.
You mentioned only 200 and 500. Now, coming from the small block world, that sounds insane, but is that light for a hydraulic roller big block?
It's actually kind of heavy because the cam is so big. With this thing being over 730 lift, you have to have some kind of valve spring to control it.
Yeah.
But you can't go too much because then it'll collapse the lifter on it.
Gotcha. So that we're balancing here.
Yes.
Because we're a street engine, it's a balancing act. We can't just throw a giant spring in there and call it a day.
Yeah, correct.
This whole package is a street package again.
Yes.
We're still gonna make over 1,000 horsepower on the dyno, but it's a street package.
Yes. We had to tame the springs down, get the springs shorter for what they're designed for, and here we are.
All right, well, cool. Let's get them on, and then let's get the rocker arms on, and I think that will end day 2, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
These are a lighter wall, 3/8 to 7/16 with the extended tip to clearance the lifter a little bit, and then we got tool steel, so it makes the tip stronger here. So for wear characteristics, makes it a lot stronger.
And Trevor was mentioning that the taper wall, the taper thin wall, was actually stronger than a thicker straight wall, 3/8.
Correct.
Pretty big cam, pretty decent valve or valve spring. How big of an issue in a combination like this is pushrod deflection?
There'll always be some pushrod deflection no matter what you're messing with, but then they're controlling it with the pushrod size and they're controlling it with the oil through the pushrod.
Okay. It is day 3 of the EngineLabs giveaway presented by Summit Racing, and there is some really fun news. We have a long block. We have the valve train in. We have everything ready to go. All we have is the intake and the induction, put some valve covers on it, throw the starter on it, and we're ready to make some noise. So, if there was any doubt that we were going to be ready in 3 days, no more doubt, because we have maybe a couple hours more worth of work. I doubt it, but you still have plenty of time to get entered to win. Just head to EngineLabsGiveaway.com. There are multiple ways to get multiple entries, and all you have to do is sign up. It's totally free, and this engine with all these amazing parts can be yours. About the base manifold that Wilson poured in. This is the Edelbrock Super Victor 2.
Yes, sir.
So obviously it's not meant for a tall deck block, right?
No, it is for a tall deck block, but this cylinder heads have such a raised port that with the spacers on it, that they had to turn around and make the spacers and everything else because the intake ports are raised in the cylinder heads.
Okay, so everything is taller. It's tall deck and then taller on top of that.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. If you're gonna, have Wilson go through all this anyway, does it really matter what you start with?
Yeah, because you have to have a basic port design and basic of where everything's going to be at. So at least a good starting point.
So you have to have a good base. It's not just a matter of getting whatever base and then,
Yeah, you have to have a good base that has already the bowl holes lines up correctly, and at that point, and then after that, modify everything till it works.
All right, so the Edelbrock manifold is a base to build on because you can't modify something that isn't good into something good, right?
You can't modify something good into something better unless you have a good base to start with. And Edelbrock has a good base to start with for Wilson to do all the magic and all their tricks on to help them out. And to where it's already the port location is close, the bowl hole location is close, and the overall layout is close, but then Wilson turned around and modified it to match everything else that's going on, but we appreciate Edelbrock coming on and giving us a good base to start with.
I mean, if you think about it, something this pretty aggressive, in years past would have probably called for like a custom sheet metal setup.
Correct.
But now we're able to do it with an off-the-shelf part and then
modify everything
it to make it,
work correctly.
That's a pretty big deal that we can start with a cast manifold.
Yeah. Especially for rules of classes that you have to run a cast manifold and you can't run a billet or a sheet metal manifold. Wilson has the ability to take one of the Edelbrock's good castings and make it into something that's class legal.
Now the Super Victor 2, it's a tall intake to begin with.
Yeah.
So whoever wins this, probably gonna have to modify your hood situation a little bit.
We just build it and you gotta figure out how to fit it.
injectors here, we're using Holley's 83 pound per hour, right?
Yes, sir.
How much power is that going to support in this kind of application?
Those injectors, running them up to about 90 pounds of fuel pressure, they can easily handle about 1,300.
Okay, so we're totally good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully we're running about 70% efficiency because we'll be running about 85 pounds of fuel pressure with this motor.
Okay, and remember with the ETS, we're running a little bit richer?
Yes.
Simply because it's oxygenated?
Yeah, 94 instead of 93 or 91, whatever people
Yeah.
going to get on the street. So we'll make it to where you can tune up should be close enough to drive it on the street. Might get a little, play with it a little bit, but.
Okay, very cool.
But then if they want to stick with the ETS stuff on the street, then we'll have a tune up for them that they can be running on.
So the cam sensor on a big block, because cam position sensor, big block, these didn't exist when this was originally designed. So we're just taking the distributor shaft basically and putting a cam sensor on that.
It's got a magnet right there, and then a sensor collar that'll bolt across it, and it'll read it right off of it.
So it's basically just, it's a 90-degree adapter for the cam.
Yep. And then we got it set at like 150, so.
And that sensor is just a basic Hall effect, right? Single magnet.
Yep, and then we just line it up so it's about the middle.
This is a 4500 pattern Dominator throttle body. It's not a carb.
No.
But it's got all the modern sensors built in for I mean, obviously you can't argue with the Dominator's performance, right? So with the spacer, does the spacer affect your torque and stuff the same as if it were a carb?
It's a little bit different since it's dry that's going through there. It's just air, no fuel. Usually just trying to increase the plenum volume with an EFI motor. With the air coming through it by itself and no fuel, just moves the RPM range up and down a little bit. So this should move it up a little bit, but we'll just see what it does on the dyno because we'll be also trying it just straight on the motor too. But
okay.
Just to see what the difference is and where it wants it. Got the valve covers from Williams Manufacturing out in California. He makes some really nice valve covers and oil pans. This one's got our Chop logo on it, and they fit excellent. Never a problem with it. Nice oil fill cap, and then it's got breathers on each valve cover, so that way you don't have to run hoses or anything else. Nice little street setup.
The first thing I'm noticing here is just how thick.
The header flanges?
No, not the header, the tube itself. These are what, 2 3/8 headers?
Yes.
That's massive. All right, so with 632 cubic inches of displacement, that's a lot of displacement. We need a lot of header. We went with Lemons headers. They're a 2 3/8 primary going into a 3.5 inch collector. These things will flow all the exhaust gas we're about to make. These headers are designed for a 68 to 72 Chevelle or Nova, so whoever wins, they might work, you might need to adjust them, but we know they're gonna work on the dyno and they're gonna function as needed and they're gonna get all those spent gases out. So with that, we are quite close to being buttoned up here at PRI Show, and stay tuned because we're about to wrap it up. All right, we're done. 2.5 days at the PRI Show and the EngineLabs Giveaway presented by Summit Racing 632 cubic inch, 1,000 horsepower big block Chevy is done. And we did it on carpet. And the best is yet to come, because you can still win this. All you have to do is go to EngineLabsGiveaway.com, get entered multiple ways, multiple times, and then for us, we're gonna head up to the University of Northwestern Ohio, get this thing on the dyno, and we're gonna prove that this is a 1,000 horsepower big block. So until next time, I'm Greg Acosta. I'll see you in the next one.